Hello everyone, you're on an all-new episode of Hidden Gems, and today I'm going to be going over the 1996 film Dragonheart. Dragonheart is directed by Rob Cohen, same director of The Fast and Furious and Dragon, a Bruce Lee story. It stars Dennis Quaid as Bowen, Dinah Meyer as Kara, David Thewlis as King Enon, and Sean Connery as the voice of Draco. So Dragonheart is pretty much one of those rare films from the 90s. It's a fantasy film, and I feel like it's an underrated fantasy film. Now, it had many sequels that were straight to video, straight to DVD, and you had one come out recently on DVD, but the original had a theatrical release, and there's just no other film quite like it. It just has a special type of magic you see in older fantasy films or some 90s films. It was distributed by Universal Pictures, and yeah, Draco. Sean Connery plays the voice of this dragon, and it follows around the character of Bowen, played by Dennis Quaid. He's a dragon slayer, but he makes an agreement with Draco, and they pretty much fake slayings for people. They terrorize towns, and he pretty much pretends to slay Draco, and they get money off these townspeople. And that's how it starts off, and you figure out he's from these Order of Knights. It's after the death of King Arthur, so it's just like the kingdom and what's left of it after the death of King Arthur. Anyway, of course, as always, there's a greater threat, this King Enon, played by David Thewlis. And he is this evil, tyrannical king. You have the character of Kara, who knows about this king, and really, her actions kind of caused some of this to happen. But you discover that the dragon at one time saved the king and gave him his heart. You found out that they're part of each other. The king has a piece of the dragon, and Draco has a piece of this tyrannical king. So it really is a deeper movie, and it's called Dragonheart, and that's what this film has. It has some dated effects. It does have that fantasy type of cheesy 90s element, but you know what? This film has a lot of heart. The king and Draco are connected, and it's pretty much about Bowen along with these townspeople and Draco the dragon defeating this evil king. And overall, that's pretty much the story. I don't want to give too many spoilers away because here on Hidden Gems, I just want to bring this film to your attention, and you should check it out. It's probably like on Stars or Stars on Demand. You can catch it on Amazon. Different things like that. And Rob Cohen does a really good job here. The cinematography is actually very well done. If you're a fan of films like Willow or like Lady Hawk, you probably really enjoy this film. It definitely has that like 90s fantasy element going for it. And it's strange that it's after the death of King Arthur, since Sean Connery himself played King Arthur in First Night. They took pictures of Sean Connery's face and based the likeness of Draco off of Sean Connery. The chemistry between him and Dennis Quaid are great, and even though he's a CG character, they do make him very lifelike. It's dated in the way that like Toy Story 1 is dated now, but like still, that doesn't take away from the brilliant work they did. Originally, Jim Henson created like this life-size puppet, and they're going to make the film in the early 90s. Film got postponed, but it was after Jurassic Park, so they were able to have a computer-generated creature running around screen, and it's actually done very well. There's a lot of moments where it feels dated, but there's some other moments where it still looks very real and much better than some of the Dragonheart straight-to-video sequels. The actress who plays Kara does a good job. She's pretty strong-willed. I like the chemistry between her and Dennis Quaid. And Dennis Quaid is not your usual pick, but he actually does very well as a knight, as a role of Bowen. Originally, Liam Neeson was going to be Bowen, but they didn't think of him as an action star. I guess it's before Taken. Anyway, he actually does a pretty good job in this, and for his sword training, they actually has some like Japanese sword fight training for him, so his style was a little bit different than just a usual swing around knight type of stuff. He really was trained in a sword, so much that he broke a finger with the fight he had with David Thewlis. David Thewlis always does a good job. I liked him as Professor Lupin in Harry Potter, and of course, and Wonder Woman, so you get to see a little bit of his madness at a young age here. You also have that actor who was in Lost World, Jurassic Park, and Inception. Yeah, there's a lot of great humor there. Overall, it's a lot of lighthearted adventure and just fun. And Dragonheart is a hidden gem in my eyes. And let's not forget Randy Elderman's score of To the Stars. You've heard it in many movies. You may have not seen the movie, heard the score, but you heard the song To the Stars. Oscar tributes. It's everywhere. One of the most inspirational, underrated pieces of music ever created for a film. To the Stars will just get you emotional, and you'll look up to the stars. It is such a great piece of cinema music. And this is a really hidden gem in the rough of cinema, especially in the 90s. So for a fantasy film, a 90s film, and just all around good film, this has a lot of heart. So I give Dragonheart a 4 out of 5 and an A. If you have not seen Dragonheart, I highly recommend that you check it out, especially if you're a fan of fantasy films. If you did see Dragonheart, let me know what did you think of Dragonheart in the comments below, and when was the first time you saw the film? I saw it as a child on VHS, and then it was also on HBO a lot of the times. Anyway, just let me know in the comments below, and if you like this video, click the like button, comment, and subscribe for more videos.